So what was it about the opportunity where before you even visited here 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, you decided you wanted to come here?
I mean, just the whole entire process of going into the portal, really just talking to my family and going into it, was able to get to talk to Coach Rice and Coach Burns, and really everything of our goals just aligned together. And I'm really just excited to be a Bronco. With that being said, coming here, getting to talk to Coach Rice in person and talk to Coach Burns, it was just the opportunity just to be here is a blessing, and I'm excited.
What were you kind of looking for when you entered the portal in your next stop?
Really just, I would say a new home, a new fresh start, and I feel like coming here, that's the goal.
What was it about here that you thought you could find that?
Just having the conversations with Coach Rice and Coach Burns and also Coach Roberto, I really felt just the time they put in with me was just great. And with that being said, I'm excited to be a Bronco.
Dylan, they reach out to you, that you reach out to them? Like, how did the process go? How much did you know about Boise before this whole process started to play out?
Yeah, so as soon as I went into the portal, I got the call right away from Coach Rice, and then we set up a Zoom immediately the next day with the whole entire coaching staff. And just the whole entire talk on the Zoom was just about what next season's going to look like and how I'm going to fit into the team, and excited about that.
Yeah, you played a lot of college basketball, and you played at a pretty high level. So what can Boise bring out of you your final year that you're looking for?
I mean, it's crazy that you said I played a lot of college basketball. I remember walking in as a freshman through those doors, and now look at, I'm a senior. So I'm excited, man, and really just coming here, I want to be able to win a Mountain West championship, and not only that, be a regular season champ, and also get back to that big dance.
So seeing what Al did in his 1 year here, I mean, was that, I don't know if that played any part of it, or just kind of knowing you only had 1 year, how'd that kind of factor into you?
Most definitely, Al was a guy I kind of talked to a lot during this process, and just going into it because, he had 1 year coming from San Jose State, and just seeing his relationship with Coach Rice and how he was able to talk to him throughout the whole entire thing. That's something I just wanted to be a part of, and so I'm excited to be a Bronco.
Did you get here yesterday, or did you get here yesterday? Or?
Yeah, I got here yesterday.
The last day, I mean, how much has it reinforced not seeing it in person, just the city and the community, how excited are you?
What's crazy, this is my first time actually in Idaho, so just to see it and get a whole new different perspective on it, I actually like it out here, and to see that the whole entire Boise State is built around, the whole entire Boise is built around the school is surreal, and I can't wait to really visit and get to know the city even more.
What's Boise State getting from you? What are you going to bring to the game? What's your game? What do we expect?
I'm a competitor, sir. I would say I'm a dog on the court. What you're going to get out of me is a leader, competitor. Throughout this 94 feet, you're going to get my best effort, 1,000% every time. I'm a leader on the court, and I feel like guys like playing with me because I bring the best out of them.
What in terms of just your 2 years ago, you obviously had scored a little more compared to last year. For fans that maybe didn't watch every UCLA game, how did you kind of look at what you did 2 years ago and how your role kind of changed last year?
Well, it was different from my role last year. We had a lot of transfers come in, new team, just trying to get a chemistry together, and I love those guys down there, and we made it to the tournament. We weren't able to make it my sophomore year, but we had a better season my junior year, and we were able to make it. Sucks we lost second round to Tennessee, but just to be able to experience that feeling was just great.
What's the transfer portal like once you get in it and all the calls and the chaos? How would you describe it to someone who doesn't experience that?
I mean, especially with it's like free agency, I would say. It's a pretty good experience just to be able to see that you can have a fresh start somewhere.
What were some other, I don't know if you had finalists or if this happened pretty quick, or who were some other schools that you were thinking about before you picked here?
Really just as soon as I talked to Coach Burns and Coach Rice, I really felt loved right away, and I felt like the culture here is something that I'm looking for. And
what were some of the things Coach Rice and Coach Burns said to you to set expectations, and what did they say that made you excited to be here?
I mean, after coming here day one, and I mean, we all see who was the point guard here last year and all he did. And so, I mean, they want me to fill that role. And I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to get to the work and grind.
So, I mean, Al was breaking assist records and stuff as well. So you're going to be looking to do, I guess. Yeah, once again.
Al's a great player, man. Al's a great player. I'm looking to do whatever I can to get Boise State a W and on top.
You said he talked to you a little bit about kind of what it was like being 1 year here. You know, what was the biggest thing he told you?
Really just how he was able to really have player-coach conversation and just be an extension of Coach Rice on the floor and being able to talk to his team, being a leader, and just, you know, his teammates trusting him throughout the whole entire process of the whole entire season. He really loved it here, and he was honest with me, and I really just liked that about that.
Was there a type of school you were looking for, or was it just kind of what was the best fit for you?
Really just the best fit, sir.
BJ was asking about, you know, just kind of Boise and whatnot. How is this different than, you know, Westwood? And,
LA?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, and why do you say you like it so far? Like, why do you appreciate that, I guess?
Well, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California, so just to be able to, you know, move out and, you know, start a new life, start a new culture here, and start a new, it's different for sure. You know, you have Cali weather and you have Idaho weather, but I'm excited. All I got to do is get me a puffer, get a good jacket, good coat, and I'm ready to work down here.
It ain't that cold.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold.
You mentioned kind of the plan. They laid out the plan for this team. I mean, you only got one season. Obviously, winning's probably a huge factor in that. You wanted to go somewhere where you could win. What did they kind of lay out to you, and what kind of research did you do on the roster, and who is coming back, and just how you kind of looked at the chances this team has to do some things this year?
I mean, yeah, most definitely. You know, you have a great team when most of the guys who played last year are returning, and you know, with the loss of Al, with the loss of Tyson, you know, of course that's tough. But I feel like with me coming in, and you know, with some new guys coming in, I feel like plus the returners, woo, it's gonna be a fun season for us, man.
How are you going to make some of those guys better? I mean, I know, are you more of a scoring, a pass-first guy? And we've heard about your defensive ability as well. I mean, in terms of like actually on the court, how are you going to fit in with kind of their style and the players here?
I mean, I feel like you named all three, my man. But not only that, I feel like just the main thing is having that connection with the guys and being able to talk to them, having them being able to trust me when I say something, or when they come up to me and have a question, or not even a question, just have a thought on the court, being able to respect that and talk about it, have creativity on the court together. So I feel like that's one of the main things that I'm focusing on coming in, just making sure that we have the team chemistry on and off the court.
Did you know anybody on the team before?
No. But I was able, as soon as I got on the phone with Coach Rice and Coach Burns, I told them that I was coming. I hit up some of the guys like Javon, got to talk to Al, got to talk to RJ, and pretty much, I mean, they just kept it real with me, and that's what I really loved about it. Because, you know, when you go through this process, it's a lot of times where people are just going to say what you want them to hear, and I feel like they were really just being sincere and really just real about everything.
Before this process, you know, kind of what was your knowledge level of Boise State and just the Mountain West in general?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot about the Mountain West, just about the teams I've seen it, and I know a little bit about Boise, but I can't wait to learn way more about it, just being here and just being a part of the program.
Just had you ever kind of just watch Boise State games? I don't know, like how much other basketball you watch?
So when I was my senior year at AZ Compass, one of my former teammates, Sada, he actually came. He was committed to Boise and spent a year or two over here, and so I was able to talk to him, and he was able to let me know what it was like.
For you, you know, I think the easy thing, you've been in a place for 3 years and you just go back. So as you get a little uncomfortable, probably, you know, at least for a minute here, as you make a decision, I feel like kind of helps you through that process. Like, how, you know, are you excited to kind of get a little uncomfortable?
When you say who helps me with the decision, like who helps me with the process of committing to a school?
Yeah, like who do you lean on? Who's your support system or whatnot?
My family, my people, my moms, my godmoms. Really, those are the main two that helped me out throughout this whole entire decision. And just really just talking to them about what we want, what we're looking for, the goals, and just what we need, because at the end of it, I only have 1 year of eligibility.
With just that being said, you know, you grew up in LA, you went to school in LA. Just how did you take time to come to this decision to leave? Was it you just woke up one morning and you were like, I need to be somewhere new? Because how tough was it to decide to leave your hometown?
Most definitely, it was tough, you know, being born and raised in LA. But, you know, sometimes it's time for a new change, something different, and I'm excited to be a Bronco. I'm excited to be a part of this program, and I'm excited to get to work starting day one.
What do you see for this team? I mean, you mentioned the players, you did your research, and you know that you're learning the history of this program, but just in terms of wanting to win, I mean, what not to say you're going to go out and predict the Final Four or whatever, but I mean, how do you look at what this team could do next year?
I mean, I feel like with most of the guys returning and me coming in, some of the new guys coming in, I feel like we're going to be a tough team to beat.
With Coach Burns, he's a defensive guy. But
Oh, yeah.
He's also got a little bit of reputation as being the point guard whisperer out of the transfer portal. What was it about him that was appealing or whatnot?
His defensive mindset, I love that.
Why's that?
How I describe my game, I love defense. I'm a player that's going to pick up the ball full court. I'm a player that's going to talk to the guys, be in the right spot. And I feel like what he was saying, just he's a pest. Like, he loves talking about defense, just his defensive schemes I love. And I can't wait till we're actually on the court in a big game and we're talking about what's the match, what's the personnel here, what are we going to do, what's the matchups. I can't wait for it.
So at what point in time in your career did you decide to lean in kind of as a, I don't want to say defensive guy, but like obviously that mentality where you really embrace it, I suppose?
I've always been a defensive guy, always.
Have you had a chance to chat with RJ
Defense
Keane?
wins games.
Have you had a chance to chat with RJ Keane yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a defensive guy as
He
well.
he came to our dinner last night.
Oh, yeah, as well as that conversation, like with him, just talking about how you guys are going to try and lock things down.
I love his energy, so I can't wait to turn him up on that court.
Have you been on the court since you've been here, working out or playing ball with the guys?
No. So yesterday was my first day I got in. I believe I got in at 11, and it was pretty much a full day of just getting to know the school and
Meetings and stuff.
meetings.
How does the next 2 months work? Do you have classes to finish at UCLA and then you move here in June?
No, I'll probably be down here early May, so just to get accommodated with everything, just so I can get used to it, so we can start in the summertime and I'm good to go.
The school stuff is done at UCLA?
Yes, sir.
How quickly did you, I mean, you said you got on a Zoom with Coach Rice and Burns, and this all seemed to happen pretty quick. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
how quickly did it happen from like that Zoom call to, okay, I'm going to come here?
Everything was within, because they were still playing in the Crown tournament. Everything was within that time period. Because, the transfer portal isn't really open that long. And so, teams are building, teams are stacking together to build that super team. And just with Coach Burns and Coach Rice, I mean, Coach Rice is the winningest coach in Boise State history. And who wouldn't want to be a part of that? So I'm excited to be a Bronco and I'm excited to play for them.
Were they the very first team to contact you?
Yes, sir.
What did that say to you? That right away they showed the interest?
I mean, one thing I can say is they really just took the time to really just get to know me, because I feel Boise State and Coach Rice, they don't just bring in anybody. They do a background and they really get to know who they're bringing in, because the team is already built. The team is chemistry, and they can't just bring in somebody they feel is gonna, break the chemistry. And somebody that's just not what they feel is their culture. And I feel like both of our goals align together, and I feel like this is the right spot.
What's your family think about your family? We see them here with you, but I mean, when you told them Boise, Idaho, Boise State, what's your family think about all this?
They love the decision. They love it. They love Coach Rice, and they can't wait for season to start.
Do you have a nickname?
Yeah, everybody calls me DA.
DA.
The DA.
Was finding out that the Maui Invitational was on the schedule, was that a nice little boost too?
Come on, man. I got to play in the Maui Invitational my sophomore year, so just to be able to be a part of that. But it sucked because it actually wasn't in Maui, it was in Honolulu. And so to be able to go to Maui this year, I'm excited.
Wear that sweatsuit.
Oh, you like this?
Thanks, DA.
I appreciate that.